community, like Twitch chat, Reddit threads, things like that between the games. Everybody is on the Jarvan hate wagon right now. Jarvan is being accused of being a bait pick. He is being accused of being a bum.
I'll be a Jarvan lawyer, okay?
Okay.
I think that's user error.
Okay.
I think Jarvan is still a good champion. I think, okay, he's going to get banned.
There's the answer to my question.
We won't get any more
sorry,
evidence.
Mr. Lawyer, your client's in jail.
Well, it just means we won't get any more evidence against him either.
Because he's in the holding cell. Okay.
I think I did my job for this game, at least.
That was quite some
Defended.
You did there.
He got the respect that he still gets banned,
Okay, so he's in jail, but people respect him.
Yeah.
So you successfully argued your case. Fair enough. He's banned with Nico and Ambessa. Other side is Alistair, Poppy, and Talia. It's Sion locked in first for Broken Blade.
Okay, Insta Sion first pick for BB here. Interesting. Okay, I was going to say, it is Kanavi, and Kanavi is such a huge carry jungler, so much great work, especially early game for TES. So, they do want to target one, and I think it is respectful to ban the Jarvan. Again, even though he's lost a lot of games at the tournament so far, still think is a very strong tool. So let's get into it, though. Again, another early Yunara pick here. This one for TES into the Sion. I guess there's not too many issues there with the blind Sion. Regardless, Cream's going to go for the Orianna. It seems like nobody really cares about the Orianna W nerfs, by the way. Everyone's like, okay, fine, I'll max Q, whatever. And still a very high priority on this champion. So opening here does mean that TS have a vulnerable, low mobility mid laner for Cream. Yunara does have her own dash when she has her ultimate, so still pretty decently mobile there. Even though you do have to invest a lot with your ultimate if you want to use that as an escape. But could open up some targeted stuff from G2 here. You can pick some fun stuff into Orianna, some kill pressure stuff for Caps. Looks like we might getting a little bug here.
A graphical error.
I'm going to get some more info for you. I'm going to say that it's a Xayah Rakan combination.
Okay.
Okay, I got confirmation. It is a Xayah plus the Rakan.
Okay, so Xayah's just a little bit invisible right now, but okay, we get the lover
She's shy right now, okay?
All right, she's up in her ult.
Yeah.
She's still got a
there you go.
Yeah, okay. Xayah's
early ult from Hansama.
Yeah, Xayah's in her ulti. She's going to come back down, but it's Xayah Rakan for G2. Meanwhile, on the top esports side, we get the Trundle locked in to devour the tanky Sion.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you get when you've got the first pick, blind pick Sion thrown down from G2. Even though you don't get immediately top lane counter picks, you get Trundle jungle counter picked, which I assume it's going into the jungle. Of course, you can leave open the super small percentage chances of it being flexed if you really want to. But yeah, let's be honest. That's going to be a jungle Trundle. Anyway, there's a lot of things you can still pick into the Sion. People have liked the Cassante and stuff, and that's kind of less exciting. Aatrox, that type of stuff, all available for TES later. The Rumble, unfortunately, won't be available, as G2 will take that one down. Can be annoying for the Xayah, so they want to get rid of that one.
Well, makes sense. A Wukong ban here, considering they already have their jungler and G2 don't, so they want to take that off the table, as well as getting rid of the Akali, since they picked that Orianna early.
Exactly.
You already mentioned that it's hey, this is a vulnerable, low-mobility mid laner, so you don't want to give them the opportunity to try to make plays with a heavy burst damage mid laner against Cream.
Meanwhile, bottom lane, you're looking at Lulu, Renatas. Okay, you're not looking at Renatas anymore.
Not anymore.
You could get a support though for an enchanter, but honestly, they need engage. They need engage support. Okay, if they do Aatrox into the Sion, which we already mentioned earlier, it's good, but you definitely got to go full engage support. So Alistar is banned, Poppy is banned. They still have plenty of things to go for here into G2. What are G2 going to round it out with for Caps?
Yeah.
This is what I'm most curious about. Skewmont could hit me with a volley bear, but it wouldn't be that great, so.
Chance. What we get here?
Into the Orianna. What is the Caps choice?
I like how he hovered all that fun stuff and then slammed like the most standard. Okay,
Yeah.
we're just gonna go with the go-to pro play mid.
Oh, and they do the Zin into the Trundle
Okay.
anyway. So a lot of people like that matchup anyways for Trundle. So we'll see how Skumon is able to navigate that one. But G2 have just set up a very standard comp, Flowers.
Yep.
Super duper standard here. As far as their front to back, Zin ultimate create a lot of space, Sion create a lot of space. And meanwhile, the answer here for TES in the end is an Enchanter. It's not the Enchanter that we mentioned. It is the Karma, though, that does have some strong laning power as far as the Enchanters go. So the early empowered Qs, I mean, this bottom lane level 1 for TES is very powerful. Mantra Qs and Yunara Q stacking up is definitely going to open up some possibilities here for Jackie Love and Hong as far as the bottom lane potential for pushing. Here we go, G2 versus TES. Everybody's on the edge of their seats when they see TES coming to international events. This is just the best of one. This is just a taste.
Yep.
So, the collapse doesn't have to be imminent. It doesn't have to be instant. So upon arrival.
Trying to couch people's expectations.
Could come
in case there's
later.
Problems. Well, I already do see a pretty big problem, though. You pointed it out before the Karma was locked in. The lack of engage. It means your coordination has to be so sharp. Your execution has to be so crisp, because if it's not, you don't have the tools to just force a fight. And on the other hand, G2 really does. They've got Rakan, they've got Azir to follow it up with, they've got Sion that can come in on the flank like that. I feel like G2 has so many more ways to say, no, we're fighting now.
100% agree, Flowers. A pillar is not really the no, we're fighting now situation. It can set up, poke and stuff like that. You try and chase people, but yeah, we'll see here. Top Esports already starting out with possible lane swap scenarios. 369 starting on bomb sign. Get some more information. Looks like we will have standard though.
So real quick, because earlier we were talking about, and the desk was talking about the fact that, people get frustrated because people who don't watch LPL then just come into internationals and don't understand that Top Esports actually can play like a really good team even if they throw internationally. They do not play that super fast, stereotypical, really bloody LPL style. They're a more slow, they're a more calculated team. So again, maybe that lends itself into not needing the big engage. Maybe we're just going to play it cool for a little while, farm up, get some pressure, make some map movements.
Yeah, their early games are generally really good too. So let's see if they can do that. Interesting sweeper. We're waiting here for the move. Broken Blade is bottom with the swap, so Lebrov staring down that brush. He knows the possibility they're in there. Okay, they are.
He finds it out. He had a hunch, and his hunch was confirmed to be correct.
So we do get our swap, and G2 with the early Sion pick. Sion, of course, is generally great in these, and Lebrov is hanging out on bottom side for a while before they start rotating those supports on over.
I feel like Sion is probably the best champion in the game at adapting to strange lane swap situations where top laners have to play the game in a sort of wacky way compared to what it would normally be. Lebrov forced to jump back up the wall here with the grand entrance. Jackie Love and Hong hitting that level 2 before Lebrov and Broken Blade do means they immediately get control over that bottom lane, force their opponents back all the way off the wave.
And see how much damage they can get, how much damage on tower. Sion, of course, can go down and use zombie form, to clear it back out, and then use teleport as well. Meanwhile, the Aatrox for 369 sustaining a decent amount of damage. He can't quite do the same, but nobody else is going up there, so shouldn't have to worry too much. And Jackie Love and Hung, it's going to be a question of how much of a payment can they get in those turret plates. As far as the money, regardless, both junglers finishing their clears on opposite sides as expected.
All right, Cream getting the early push here in the mid lane against the Azir. Topside Hansama versus 369's Aatrox. 369 not struggling against the range at all there, as Broken Blade and the Lebrov juggle hung around a little bit, but bringing him down to 200 HP. Not even forcing any summoners or anything though, because they know as soon as the Decimating Smash plus the Grand Entrance come in, it's like there is no more damage.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very easy to predict and easy to play around. Softening them up for the dive, though. Here comes Kanavi. The Trundle is here. Broken Blade is low. Are they going to go for a good death?
Well, let's see. This wave is about to crash in, and as soon as it does, Kanavi is going to show his face. Lebrov goes for the grand entrance as Hong tries to get away. Broken Blade wanted to get something, but all he gets is first blooded. They even get the kill over to Jackie Loves Yunara. That's exactly what they wanted to see there for Top Esports.
Yeah, all right. Flash used. So he did do, zombie form, you get back up, farm them, and then teleport back out. So it's not like as tragic as another top laner dying. But, like you say, that's more money into Jackie here. And he goes back, gets an instant call purchase as well, so he can get value that way, in addition to getting some turret plate money. Looks like we're going for the recalls, though, for the Swapperoni back out. And reset.
Okay, Caps jumping in there after Cream. And Caps back in the heyday of G2, like back when, again, we're talking about this team winning MSIs, we're talking about this team making World Finals. Like, Caps was the Western mid laner that could actually stand up against the best mid laners from China and from Korea. And when you look at Top Esports, usually you're going to look at Kanavi as the best player on the team, and you're going to look at Cream as the one who will struggle against the highest levels of competition. And so what I want to see is can we get the resurgence of prime Caps to really put the pressure on Cream and give G2 a super strong advantage to play.
Yeah, give him some more material for future Worlds music videos.
Yeah, there you go, main character plays.
He was featured very heavily, very nicely in this music video. A lot of big moments. And as you say, Caps has been somebody that they have been able to rely on for so long.
Oh, yeah.
On G2 and on Azir, this champion, Flowers, is such an iconic World champion, especially.
Oh, yeah.
And so with the changes, they did nerf his early game and then buffed his late game a decent amount, and then they hotfixed, kind of reduced to the late game buff, but we may get more harassment on the bottom side. But level 6, he goes in right as he gets it.
Right as he gets it, he gets Cream's flash. Exactly what you usually want to see the Azir go for, because then you can get the repeat gank once the Shurima Shuffle is back up. Kanavi and Cream, though, making sure that Lebrov doesn't try to do anything else here, as Caps is down to about 500 HP. Cream not doing a whole lot better, since he did catch Caps with the Shockwave on the back end of the trade.
Interesting. Are we going to have this rotation down bottom for another attempt? I mean, already good defense from G2. They know this is coming. They're reading it. They've got Skewmond and Lebrov on the way. Broken Blade 6 also.
Okay, Jackie Love might be in a little bit of danger here. Has to flash away from the decimating smash. Kanavi only level 5 here on the Trundle. There is no subjugate. Broken Blade gonna get caught by the tether most likely. No, but does manage to get away. Skewmond down to about 50 HP. Broken Blade, 200 on him. Very low health bars on G2, but everybody survives critically, and there's no more minion wave.
Oh yeah, Kanavi, a lot of damage he was able to do to Skewmond, and Skewmond flashed already.
Oh, Hong's trying to go in and get the root. He finds it, but Skewmond is so tanky here on the Xinjiao with the drain tank ability. It's not gonna matter. He does finally drop. Hong still taking hits from the minions from the Gleaming Quill, but he continues walking away. Top Esports, after all is said and done and the dust settles, they still get another one.
Yep, smart stuff from Top Esports, and another nice early game lead for them. Kanavi getting level 6 here off the Krugs as well, stealing on his way out. He just walked down Skewmond there on the chase. G2 are trying to defend under tower, but Broken Blade uses Sion ultimate kind of early, and then TES were like, you know what? Okay, we're not really scared about that CC anymore, so we can actually move forward more aggressively behind this tower and still force some value out of this, even though G2 are in place to defend. And TES really make it work. They are extending the play, and Hong, credit where credit is due, goes back in. He's able to catch Skewmond as he was trying to walk away. They saw him flash, so they knew he couldn't escape the tether, and they just kind of set it up perfectly for Kanavi to come finish the job with one more bite.
I was a little bit worried there for a second when I saw the tether not kill him, because out of mana karma versus Conqueror Xin Zhao with the passive healing that the character gets is a little bit dicey, but they made it work out anyway. And now we've got everybody hanging around here on the top side of mid lane. The Grubs have just spawned, and obviously that is going to be the point of interest here for both sides. Kanavi and 369 going to go ahead, begin the objective. The AoE power of Aatrox can feel really nice, just smacking these Grubs around, as Top Esports comfortably taking the first one, and it looks like nobody from G2 is going to do anything about the second either.
So they know Broken Blade's ult is on cooldown. They're still sending Jackie back down bottom side. So TES are like, you know what? We are fine with 2, and just send the Yunara back bot. I do like this. Broken Blade doesn't have ult, and look at that. Teleport's not on cooldown either. So Yunara gets to push that wave on bottom side by herself. Jackie getting some nice solo experience, picks up a flower petal. Another turret plate is ripe for the taking for him. Can continue to increase that gold.
Top Esports erring on the side of caution, backing away from those Grubs. May have been able to secure the last one, but we will never know. Instead, like you're saying, just making sure that they don't put themselves in a bad spot, give the money to Jackie Love, already accelerated by the early kill. His farm is close to what Hans Sama has had. And remember, Hans Sama's pretty much just been free farming up there in that top lane versus the Aatrox, and he's got the extra kill there for Jackie. So still nicely stacking forward towards that call. Both AD carries the call this game, as Hong has to flash away from the grand entrance of Lebrov. Did not want to get caught out there with Caps and Skumon both ready to follow up, especially considering that Shurima Shuffle is ready to go yet again for Caps. Could have been some seriously dire circumstances.
Yeah. All right. The other thing to warn, as Top Esports have their nice early game gold lead here, you know, a little comfortable, 1,000 gold. You never want to get too comfortable with this team, because they definitely can throw it later down the road.
Okay.
But it is going quite nicely for them, and you want to progress towards the dragon as we get flash blown from Cream on the re-engage. So he already had, wait a second, they're going to enter to contest the dragon. Mountain Dragon here, aggroed, but plenty of vision for TES, and they kind of can retreat back into their own territory.
The important part about that Cream flash, the first time he flashed, it was Caps' ulti used in trade for the flash. This time around, Caps didn't even have to spend the ulti. Cream just flashes super defensively, and now the Azir still has that playmaking tool. So Cream's got to be very careful that he doesn't immediately get follow-up ganks soon, as Kanavi, since he had everybody else around here, it just means that he has free access to this first Drake. It is not a fast first Drake whatsoever, just shy of 11 minutes. So even if they start a strong Drake stack, it'll still take a while to get to the soul. But now Kanavi is once again down here in the bottom lane, once again looking to pose a potential dive. Jackie Love and Hong continuing to shove these waves up, as 369 has to deal with being outnumbered by G2 up in the top lane. At the same time, Broken Blade crashes his ult into the turret, and now the wave continues to move forward. Kanavi's going to go ahead and start it off here with a subjugate, and that is it. Feats of Warfare claimed. Easy peasy for Top Esports. Broken Blade's dead body can't do anything but farm up some minions. Yes, he will have the teleport to get back here once he respawns in 15 seconds, but I don't know if there's really going to be anything to get back to, Kobe, because the next minion wave is coming. They've already got 2 of the Void Grubs, and that turret is really low.
Yeah, that thing's going to die for sure. And I don't know, like, he got chomped and, like, instantly ulted. I don't know about the ult so far from BB, but okay.
369 fighting back with World Ender up here. Yes, he was ignited, but Aatrox still staying alive, surviving here with the 1v2.
369 himself ulting here, but a little bit more potential. Skumon did.
Yeah, Skumon's going to find Cream walking through the Top Esports jungle. Skumon was set up there near the enemy red buff, but he takes a lot of damage from the shockwave with Hong right beside him. That means that Skumon has to back all the way away.
And they got the sneaky control ward in back there too. I love hiding that one back there behind the red buff. So lots of vision laid behind by G2, trying to set up their next possible play there. Pings all down onto Caps, but I mean, it's Azir, so should be completely fine, especially considering TES have very, very low crowd control on their team.
Yeah.
Kanavi just kind of passing through though, walking over for the red buff steal on the other side.
Okay, not going to find a red buff just yet. However, that yellow hourglass does spawn it right after. Caps is hanging around to hopefully try to defend for G2. Broken Blade over the wall might just fire Aurora the Slayer in to see if
got a smite.
Gank it, but Kanavi has smite. Yeah, That's pretty easy confirm there for the TES jungler. And I already mentioned, I think a lot of people would agree Kanavi is the best player on top esports. He has been having a great early game here so far on the Trundle. Trinity Force already completed 2-0-1, part of every kill they've had so far, and it's just been repeat visit after repeat visit to the bottom lane.
Yeah, and this team does have a lot of potential to kind of kite fights as well.
Yeah.
They do, have a decent amount of slows on them, and 369 Aatrox, we haven't had a lot of him on screen because all of the action was with the other side of the lane swap. And TES, diving Broken Blade. But this Aatrox can have some potential to chase down as well. And the Aatrox is actually getting focus at the moment.
Yep, he trapped BB with the Infernal Chains, kept him there long enough for Kanavi to show up. Yes, Sion is a tanky champion, and yes, Trundle just loves fighting tanky champions. 4 kills to nothing. Top Esports, 1,500 gold lead.
Topside counter play. What did you two have cooking here?
Okay, Skewmon and LeBron coming in. Cream probably going to be your target there. Goes in for the grand entrance. Defensive shockwave. LeBron still locked up underneath the turret, but Cream goes down. Skewmon and G2 are on the board, but now Skewmon and Caps out to try to get away. Defensive ulti coming out from the Xinjiao. Hong trying to lock up Caps. Shurima Shuffle's not going to work, and Caps is dead. Now G2's in a ton of danger. Kanavi's coming around on the side. Skewmon staying alive for now, but 369 needs a little bit more damage. LeBron with 200 HP. LeBron chomped down. G2 have lost all but a single man. It's 8-2 for Top Esports.
Yeah, that's a late teleport in and an early ult out for Broken Blade. TES already did their work on the top side. They get so much gold off of this Flowers. Okay, G2 trying to do the counterplay on the other side of the map. They go under tower. They know that they want to kill this Orianna with no flash, but it takes so long. Hansama's forced to use the ult, and they're separated. So the other two from G2, their bottom lane, has to walk all the way around. Meanwhile, Jackie Love gets right in there on the Yunara. Hong's able to get the root onto the Azir. Caps goes down, and Jackie goes in, but it means that Kanavi and 369 get to clean up everybody else before Broken Blade even arrives to exit.
G2 trying to pull off the same play that Top Esports has been pulling off on the other side of the map. And yes, they get their initial man. They find the kill on Cream, but the cost is great as Top Esports collapses and punishes. It's already a 3,000 gold lead for the LPL number 3 representative, and they're gonna grab the Rift Herald for free right after. 15 minutes and 48 seconds on the clock, so a pretty swift take on that one. Meanwhile, the top lane tier 1 turret for G2 just barely standing, and Caps knows as he sees the announcement that the Rift Herald has been taken and he's next to a nearly dead turret, he could be in very grave danger, so he teleports away, does not want to get caught out in that one. The Drake now begun by G2.
Yeah, I think it'll be finished by G2 as well, so they do get that objective. Of course, the tower on top side is going to go down. I mean, Flowers, you can't help smile. It is fun when Jackie Love is going to make, jump in on these here, kill, get these kills, and then flash into the tri-brush and get 3-man and instantly die. But it's still good for TES. Those are the things you love about
Still
Jackie.
works out.
Just flash on in there, go with the hype plays, and it's still good for TES. Very, very
Sometimes
gold.
you just gotta play wild.
Very
Fast and
good.
loose.
Still very gold positive, and of course the Trundle and the Aatrox can just clean up the kills afterwards, trap them in. So we'll see what they can do with this gold lead. Of course, with that flash, Jackie won't have it for later. And as we mentioned, TES can and will throw games later. Sometimes, some portion of times, that happens when people do catch Jackie Love in bad positions, at bad timings. And it is easier to catch people that don't have flashes. So,
True.
If you're G2, your shot calling right now might be, hey, well, actually, now it's get out of there, but you can always try and look to pick off Jackie Love. Whenever you're facing TES and as big of a lead as TES ever have, you can try and do that. But it's looking good for TES at the moment. They're gonna Rift Herald. They're gonna go for this tower.
Yep, Kanavi will drive that one in Easy money in the pockets of Top Esports, now more than a 4,000 gold lead. Harold should not get the second charge. Okay, that one gets taken out. Meanwhile, 369 forcing Broken Blade back out of the G2 jungle as Top want to continue moving forward. Kanavi makes his way over, and because he's so accelerated, because he has 5 kills on this Trundle, more than half the team's total kill gold, he's already got his Deadman's Plate fully completed as the second item, so his speed to move around, to join these fights, to try to make plays, hyper accelerated.
And that's it's kind of the key of this comp is speed and speed differences. So in Champ Select, we're like, man, I like hard CC.
Yeah.
But this team has a lot of speed differences. They have got speed ups, your Deadman's Plate that you're pointing out, your Orianna and your Karma, who also have slows and tethers. Pillar, another slow. Aatrox ulti, another speed up. Yep. You got your mini knockups from Aatrox Qs. And Yunara herself, speed buffs and slurkles, as Atlas loves so much and would highlight. So there are a lot of speed differences. So they do have a lot of the soft CC with this team.
Right. Well, I'm still a fan of Unga Bunga engaged champions. They're some of my favorites.
You can get a good Unga Bunga shockwave, maybe. Somebody gets in there, so.
Now, Hong has found
Is that
here in the river. This could be a problem for Lebrov because the teleport's coming in. He's already flashed. Does have Battle Dance to get over the wall to Caps, who's waiting for him to guarantee that the support can get away safely on G2. That was definitely a scary moment for Lebrov, but the flash into the Caps waiting nearby and the brush play was pretty good for them. It does buy Broken Blade also an opportunity to take the tier 1 turret here in the top lane. Top Esports have already taken 3 turrets. G2 hadn't had any, so this is important in trying to close that gold gap here a little bit.
They do close it a bit, and no teleport on 369. Gonna be something they can benefit from here. Continue to pick up those petals. You know, every little petal is meaningful here, especially if you are lower in experience. So they're gonna try and clean their territory. TS moving in pretty heavily though after that commitment. Cream's got his teleport ready on top side, so Orianna split push on top side should be able to get that wave no problem. And with Otacon down here, a kind of nice maneuver from TES. It's still on vision though, so they didn't clear out the ward that's actually directly on the Otacon. So G2 do have good vision to try and fight this. Cream would have to teleport in. There we go.
Yeah, this is an audacious Otacon start, but it's what Top Esports are going for. They're 3,000 gold ahead. G2's got all 5 men nearby. Otacon down to about half HP. Kanavi and Jackie Love still putting the work in onto it. 369 trying to keep everybody else distracted. Caps goes in. Flashback out from 369. The Otacon down to 3,000 HP. The Aatrox keeping everybody distracted now, but he's got to be careful because he's in World Ender, but he's got no flash. Everybody from G2 piling in on 369. The Aatrox won't die fast enough. Sterix Gage pops to keep him alive. Broken Blade is already down. Everybody on G2 is eviscerated. 369 with one last Deathbringer stance. Rips the life out of Broken Blade and stays alive himself. Jackie Love chases forward with the auto attacks. It's an ace and an Otacon for not a damn thing. Top Esports absolutely steamrolled them.
369 baits them into the alcove of death. Look at this. He's just dancing with them. He flashes Caps's engage and he's like taunting them. Please come over here. My team will get the Otacon and I can stay alive. I have plenty of healing. Redemption comes in. They get the healing over and over and over. The Sundered Sky procs, the ultimate procs. He's on the edge, only a couple of hundred of HP, and he knows the rest of the team can just come trap them. Flowers, the alcove itself is hard CC. When you've got all of the speed to go collapse on G2, they just got mind controlled by 369 into the alcove. Well, TES took the Otacon. 369 can soak the engage. You don't have to like start the engage yourself if you just like soak it and draw in your opponents. Beautiful stuff there from 369 and TES, and TES have been nothing but methodical this game. You mentioned intelligence, and they have just been in control.
That was lore accurate Aatrox taking on all challengers, and he's not done yet. However, he does need to be a little bit careful here. Beautiful interrupt on the TP. Broken Blade wanted to join the fight, but Kanavi denies it with the pillar, and that makes it so easy for 369 to just walk it off there in the top lane. G2 is trying to make these plays, but Top Esports are countering.
Yes, they are. Great map movements again from TES. Now Hung, though.
Hong knocked up by the grand entrance. However, not quite dead. Finally shut down. Goes over to Han Sama. Flashback out from Kanavi before decimating Smash. Can potentially give G2 another kill. Third kill of the game there for G2 with the pick on the enemy support. They've still got a long way to go to catch up, but getting those punishes is the only way they're going to get there.
Yeah, they get one straggler, they get a support kill, is a little bit of money, but honestly, that's just a drop in the bucket as far as the gold deficit that they are facing and the onslaught that they are facing from Top Esports. Since Jackie Love has been so rich here, you know, he already had the Lord Doms. This Yunara is going to be really difficult to deal with. Again, the speed differences are going to be enough. Top Esports with these Hex Gates get right back out to the map. Kanavi starting it out, tracing through the jungle, yoink away this red. Skumon,
team.
Yeah, Skumon was like, do I stay around to try and smite fight this and just steal it and run away? No, 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 those Hex Gates are active.
That was a crazy conveyor belt play of Top Esports players all just showing up into the enemy jungle to help steal away the red buff. As now they're going to take down the tier 2 here in the mid lane right after. 7.8 thousand gold lead for Top Esports as G2 are starting to stare down what feels like an insurmountable lead. It's not up to them to make the plays anymore. They're kind of hoping for that Top Esports throw that we've talked about from all of those recent previous competitions, because if Top Esports stays this calm, this collected, this smart, G2, they've got no way back in.
This is why you are supposed to fear Top Esports until you actually see, you know, the collapse at the international event, until you actually see the throw. This is why you fear them. They are so good. Kanavi just controlling the game from the very beginning, Flowers. Remember back to the early stages, the bottom lane sets it up. It is the lane swap, but they don't care about it. They just punish the lane swap. They take down Broken Blade over and over. They get enough money onto Jackie Love. They keep funneling it into Jackie Love, very calm. At no point are they really worried. Kanavi gets very fed, Jackie gets very fed, and they methodically move through the game. 369 is completely fine on weak sides in lane swaps. and he was more than fine at the end as well. It's just like really well thought out stuff from them, and this is why you fear them until you see it collapse. So at the beginning of the tournament here, in the best of 1, 369, the rest of TS looking good. Kanavi here, Pillar starts it out.
Skumon in some danger, the tether about to lock him up. Hong gets back away as Skumon has to flash defensively. Top Esports, they're gonna push this wave forward. The Sun Disc was summoned by Caps, so that's gonna at least hold this area for a short time. But Baron is live on the map as of 45 seconds ago. Top Esports now going to dare G2 to come closer towards the area. Jackie just continuing to fire. If anybody gets close to Jackie Love, they are gonna take a ton of damage from this Yunara. The next wave will be cleared out very rapidly. Kanavi just making sure there's no G2 vision up there in the Baron pit at the same time. Sun Disc falls. The Brob hit by an Infernal Chain. Immediate battle dance back to the rest of the team so he doesn't get caught. And Top Esports again, path towards the Baron.
And they're trying to clear out the vision, but G2 have some lingering wards. They walk up though.
Han Sama immediately forced to ulti defensively. Jackie Love wants to go in, he flashes to the side. Han Sama all the way back away with a defensive flash from his Caps with a massive Shurima shuffle. Jackie Love is down, and Top Esports might be in some danger. Caps is next to die. Cream back over the wall. Double kill to Kanavi. It looked like Caps might have found the miracle that G2 needed, but Top Esports do not believe. G2, they got the best they could have got there, but it's still a 3-for-1 for Top Esports.
Top Esports will put an emphatic stamp on this game. The Baron will be theirs. Skumon is down, no spike for G2. All they can do is farm minions while TES take the main objective.
It's not going to be the fastest because Jackie Love did die, but they are going to get it.
Yeah, Jackie Love went ham. Let's take a look at it, and that's going to be the fun perspective to watch because he goes at Hans. He gets the big hit onto Hans. He is able to chase through. He flashes forward. He really wants to go for the chain, but it's right in and past not only the Rakan, who charms him up and sets him up for Caps to go in, but because he goes in like that and it's full commitment, the rest here for TS are able to clean it up. Cream barely flashing over the wall. He survives. Hong had escaped out to the bottom side. He too survived on a sliver of HP. And again, it's a similar scenario where, yeah, Jackie's going ham in there and getting melee range of everybody, but the Aatrox of the Trundle are just destroying them all while everyone's chasing them around.
369 aggressively ulting up here. Yeah, Cream and Hong, you said it just then, they both got away with 100 HP at the end of that fight, while Jackie was the only one who died. Imagine if this wasn't a 7,000 gold lead before the fight, right? That turns into 3 kills all of a sudden, and you do have your miracle moment for G2 where you turn the game around. But Top Esports have built such a lead, such a commanding advantage in this game, that even that big move there from Cavs was not enough. 9,500 gold lead now, Drake's 2-2. Top Esports with Red Bull Baron power play here for the next 2 minutes, looking to break into the enemy base and maybe just end it. They've got so much momentum here as Kanavi just trying to force Lebrov back, make sure they keep this jungle dark, make sure anything outside of the base is pure danger for G2.
Kanavi is legendary, both in the game and out of game, and here we go.
Broken Blade is about to drop, but he does manage to get himself away there with the ulti, all the way back into the fountain with the Scion. Means a suspicious lack of front line for G2, so no way to defend the mid lane inhibitor before it falls. Top Esports going to take that lane first, and now put their attention up towards the top side, as G2 brings all 5 men up here to try to defend it. Meanwhile, Kanavi in the enemy jungle, stealing away the big red buff. Post Baron giving it to everybody on the team. Jackie, defensive ulti there on the Yunara, making sure that he doesn't get caught out by Skewmon. Here comes your TP from 369, and now it's the bottom lane, your next target. Pillar there onto Skewmon, but not a whole lot else to get from that one. Jackie Love still in ulti form for a little bit longer, as the bottom lane inhibitor does die. And Top Esports are going to continue their push now with 2 enemy inhibitors down. The next wave is marching down the top lane, but it's not there quite just yet. Kanavi's going to hop on out to the enemy jungle. There's a Sun Disc in mid, but it doesn't matter a whole lot. They've still got the Baron for another 30 seconds. Broken Blade wants to stop this. G2 does not want to have a 3 inhibitor game on their hands.
I love that Kanavi is having fun with them. He keeps channeling the Hex Gates right in front of people, daring them to stop him, taking it out, just walking back in, trundling around as he does.
Skewmon defensive ult trying to stay alive as Top Esports moves forward. Caps goes in for the shuffle. He finds Jackie Love, but where's the follow-up damage? Jackie dies, but so does Caps. 369 in the middle of everybody still staying alive, and they finally kill him off. Broken Blade trying to get away. Redemption coming down, but it ain't gonna heal him in time. It's 3 dead on the G2 side, but they managed to take out the enemy top laner and AD carry at the same time. Can Skewmon and Hans Sama continue to defend against Cream, against Hong, and against Kanavi alongside the 2 lanes of super minions? Hong and Cream are putting the pressure onto the Nexus turrets. Meanwhile, Kanavi takes down the remaining inhibitor turret to guarantee G2 are trapped in the base for the next 3 minutes until mid lane inhibitor respawns.
Yeah, triple inhibs is really hard to come back from. They will look to farm the minions though, Flowers, because those super minions will be flooding into the base. So TES, they can take a quick little breather here, go back and spend a lot of the money that they accrued out on the Rift first, and then return to finish the job, because the inhibs will be down for a while, the super minions will be flooding in, and just keeps up that constant pressure on G2 inside the base, kind of pinning them there. Luckily for G2, since the dragons were split, there's not an imminent threat of Dragon Soul.
Yeah.
But TES, honestly, I don't think that they have to do that to win anyway. They can just return with the pressure, and you just go into the base, keep applying the pressure while the super minions come, and you just close in on them slowly and finish the job before you have to do any more objectives anyway.
Honestly, this has been a really clean game from Top Esports.
Very.
I am seriously impressed with the way that they have played this out, considering their reputation at the past few international events, considering the expectation that a lot of people would have of them potentially having a throw here. There has been no such thing. TES now on the verge of winning their first game here at Worlds 2025. Caps wanted to go after Jackie again. Didn't quite get him this time, and that should mean the end of the game. Nexus turrets both about to die. 369 under a little bit of pressure. Here's Lebrov, charms up. Hong, they get that kill at least. Skewmon's gonna drop dead next though, as Lebrov and Broken Blade head back into the fountain. And the remaining 4 players on Top Esports are not gonna let them leave. It's Top Esports coming out swinging, 22-7. They'll take down G2.
That's why you need to fear Top Esports. That right there. Beautiful stuff from them. Kanavi ends 9-0-6 on the Trundle.